It's been a couple of months since I released my first video about getting into WWE for the first time, and all I absorbed from watching a random year's worth of Attitude Era. I'm recapping that for you now because, I mean, let's be real. You had no idea that video even existed, did you? But anyway, in that video, I mentioned how I'd tried to watch the first official Raw's Netflix episode on January 6th, but it failed because it looked like shit on my laptop and everything about it just hurt my eyes visually. And also I had no idea what was going on. But luckily, times have changed because I got this new TV over here just in time for WrestleMania, and I figured, what the heck? Let's give it another shot. And this time, let's do it the right way. And what do you know? I had the time of my life. Was it the best show I'd ever seen? No. But was it hella fun? Yes. And did it come with a bunch of montages set to music that recapped every feud in the show and caught me right up to speed? Double yes. So today, after roughly 3 months of consistently watching every WWE show that I could, so that's almost every Raw and almost every SmackDown and every PLE since WrestleMania. Sorry NXT, I'll get to you. Seriously, WWE, how am I supposed to watch everything you guys are pumping out? What do I look like to you? Pile of eyeballs. Anyway, I'm back to report my findings. So what follows is a little sampling of all of the thoughts and feelings I have about certain wrestlers and certain aspects of the show, and a few predictions of what's to come as well. Spoiler alert, it's more positive than negative overall, and some sections are longer than others. And full disclosure, I wrote quite a few notes for this video while high on weed, and even fuller disclosure, I might even be a little high on weed right now. This video might suck. Oh well. Been there, done that. Let's just dive in head first. By the way, at the time of making this video, the last PLE was Evolution. I'm trying to get this video out before SummerSlam. Pray for me. First we have Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. Guys, Io Sky is so fucking metal. I love how outside the ring she carries herself with all this poise and professionalism and dignity when she's got that big belt over her shoulder. Then in the ring, she's doing all these death-defying leaps and dives, then popping back up like nothing happened and just going full Tasmanian devil out there. I mean, she's incredible. Instant favorite after that WrestleMania match. People, aka my Instagram feed, tell me all the time that since I'm into China, I should be into Rhea Ripley. And yeah, as much as I hate algorithms trying to predict what I would like, I think Rhea's really cool. Super impressive athlete, very non-boring moveset as well. Like, she's very adaptable to different opponents. She's a dominant player, but she also doesn't win too often. In fact, I haven't seen her win many matches this year at all yet. As of now, Io and Rhea have a cordial relationship by wrestler standards. I was wary though, because Rhea's been burned before, hasn't she? By, I don't know, literally every other character she's had a significant connection to so far. I mean, who's she fallen out with so far? Dominic Mysterio, Bianca Belair, Raquel Rodriguez. That's why they had that the fight. So like, not a great personal relationship track record. Not that it's always her fault, but still. And for a while I thought something is gonna go wrong with these two somewhere along the line. Like the belt might really get between them and ruin the vibe forever. It just seemed likely to me. There was a point during their match at Evolution. Best show of 2025, by the way. I don't even care that it's only July. Like, every match was a hit. But during Io and Rhea's match, Rhea missed a pin on Io because the referee got KO'd, and Rhea crashed the fuck out because she's never won a one-on-one match against Io before, so she was taking it out on Io. It was so emotional and unnecessary. For a second I was like, oh god, it's all over for them. But apparently not. Once Io regained consciousness, she just popped right back up and dove on top of Rhea from 20 feet in the air, just how she normally would. But still, I wouldn't be so sure that there's no conflict whatsoever on the horizon, because, spoiler alert, Naomi cashed in her Money in the Bank briefcase at the end of their match and snatched the Women's World Championship right out from under both of them, which was amazing, and honestly, I couldn't think of a better way for that match to end. But that lack of closure is gonna get to Rhea. Mark my words. Both Rhea and Io are pissed that they lost control of their own match, but I just know Rhea's taking it way harder, you know? Because let's be real, she has a lot more to prove right now than Io does. So if I were Io, I'd probably be careful around Rhea for the time being. Also, way to go, Naomi, because that was such a boss move. Now, I'm going to move on to talking about Charlotte Flair, the queen herself. Guys, did you know that Charlotte Flair has been divorced 3 times? Little known fact, but Charlotte Flair's been divorced 3 times. In fact, I'm not even sure that Charlotte Flair knows this about herself, since the audience felt it necessary to remind her every time she walked on for several weeks in a row. I was not prepared to witness the sheer hatred that people apparently felt for this woman. It got so bad, Charlotte could barely even get a word out without the crowd going full monster mode. I understand that people weren't happy about her Royal Rumble win, and I get that her old winning streaks were too much. Those are completely valid opinions to have. But the behavior, though, I swear, if scientists studied the most rabid Charlotte haters in the past 3 months of SmackDown audiences, they'd probably discover a new mental illness. Now, I'll own up to the tiniest bit of bias here, since Charlotte's queen persona was like tailor-made to pander directly to me. So self-absorbed, so lacking in self-awareness. I mean, y'all know that's my kind of woman. So I've just been sitting here dying to see her finally succeed and get a new storyline. And hallelujah, it finally happened. Charlotte's recently been paired with Alexa Bliss in a tag team, much to Charlotte's displeasure. But what choice does Charlotte have? She's miles away from any kind of solo title shot. She's basically starting over. Alexa's like, look, this year, I'm starting in basically the same position, and the smart thing for us to do is to aim for that tag team title together. And with a little pressure, Charlotte finally gives in. These two fight their feelings so hard at first, but it quickly becomes clear that these two have really good chemistry as tag team partners, and maybe even as friends. Charlotte's so funny, because one second she's like, we're not friends, and then the next second she's losing all control and hugging Alexa in front of the entire world. And the second Alexa's in trouble, Charlotte comes running to defend her. Guys, Charlotte is desperate to have a friend. She doesn't want us to know it, but she is. I love that. Y'all already know these two had a great match at Evolution a couple weeks ago, which ended exactly the way I thought it would, but Charlotte and Alexa are officially so over with the fans as a team. And now that I think of it, all 4 teams in that match had pretty strong emotional cores and motivations. Like the Kabuki Warriors were returning after a long hiatus, and then Charlotte and Raquel needed that match in the first place because the whole point was them using it to prove their worthiness as the tag team champions. Sol Ruca and Zarya clearly have a strong bond. They know exactly how to combine their really different strengths and styles together. And then finally, we have Charlotte and Alexa embarking on their journey back up the ladder together. I mean, that's just some great stuff right there. Charlotte saved Alexa from a spear from Zarya, and then she just clung to Alexa like an overprotective mother lion for the rest of the match. It was great. The reaction to these two has been so overwhelmingly positive. I hope this means that they'll continue working together for a good while and give us more and more banter and more character building moments between them. Okay, so I have some notes on the Seth Rollins thing and the John Cena thing that's happening. I'm going to talk about them both at once, and I'm going to keep it brief. Even though these storylines aren't that related to each other, this year is going down in infamy as John Cena's heel turn right before his retirement. He's hanging on to that undisputed championship belt for dear life. It's getting harder and harder to say words like undisputed. Meanwhile, Seth Rollins is trying to get everything. I think that's the gist of it. Yeah, Seth Rollins wants everything. Both these guys keep going on about how they're like the real champions or the real leader that the company needs. And I'm like, guys, literally every man who's ever been on this show says the exact same thing about himself. They always have. I'll admit it's pretty hard for me to be invested in Cena because I never watched him when he was in his prime. I understand that this whole sequence is a huge deal for everyone who did though, and I respect that. But to me though, it's kind of giving little boy throwing a tantrum. He's been dealing so poorly with his trauma of being so popular. Meanwhile, Seth Rollins has been racking up feud after feud with just about everybody else on the card. Basically everybody who isn't preoccupied with Cena right now. And he started a team with a few guys. First, he stole Paul Heyman, and then they got Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, who are more or less Seth's attack dogs. They're down to help him take over the company, and Seth seems to have made promises towards them about what rewards await them at the end. But unfortunately for these guys, Seth's freaking knee straight up freaking exploded during the last Saturday night main event during his fight against LA Knight. And Heyman's been trying to keep cool about it ever since, but it's still pretty hard to say what direction this might go in next. There are still some people out there who don't even think the injury is real. So far, it seems like Braun Breaker is going to go on a series of little side quests to maintain the illusion of control, so long as Seth Rollins can't be in the picture, which of course includes trying to win some belts. If Braun does win a championship though, part of me thinks that Seth's going to keep him on a tighter leash once he gets back, because I can't imagine Seth wants anybody in his posse to get too close to overshadowing him. I don't know, let me know what you all think about that prediction. It's the only one I got for this one. Next up is Penta. I freaking love Penta, guys. Penta is so cool. Penta is my hero now. I want to be Penta when I grow up. This guy is just super stylish. Everything from his in-ring work to just like the way he moves around. He comes off pretty dangerous, but like also like somebody you can trust with your kids, you know? In the ring, he has that really tenacious quality. Like, it takes a lot to knock this guy out for good, because he just doesn't quit. I see him earning a title soon, for sure. I don't have much else to say about him, other than he's just so fun to watch. Up next is Sami Zayn. So, the way I understand him, Sami Zayn's whole personality is wrapped up in being an underdog. But he also wants to win a championship. But if he wins a championship, then he can't be an underdog anymore, can he? And if Sami Zayn isn't an underdog, then who even is he? Based on literally all the WWE content I've seen between WrestleMania and today in mid-July, I literally have no idea whatsoever. And I feel like that's just a really long time to learn next to nothing about this man, when the company apparently really wants me to notice his struggle, since they keep trotting him out every week. While we're on the underdog topic, can we talk about that last match he had for a second? You know, the one that put him out of action indefinitely? Because holy shit, do they do absolutely everything to pound it into your skull that this guy has the odds stacked against him. First, Sami Zayn already has cracked ribs from the last time that Karrion Kross beat him with a metal pipe. Then, Braun Breaker opens Raw by exposing Sami for not working out, which is just savage. Then, right before Sami's match with Braun, Karrion Kross ambushes Sami with another metal pipe. Then Sami competes anyway, just to show us all how brave he is. And he obviously gets fucking murdered by Braun. Like, in no universe would Sami have ever won that match. And yeah, then he was out indefinitely, but it looks like he's scheduled for a match on Raw next week anyway. You see how this kind of shit keeps happening to him though? Sami talks a big game about how he's gonna win something. Then he gets brutalized by somebody, and then he's right back where he started. It's just so predictable, and it feels like he's going nowhere. One step forward, one step back, over and over and over again. Now, in my, albeit relatively uneducated opinion, I do predict that Sami's gonna win something in the near future. Maybe the Royal Rumble, or maybe King of the Ring next year. I think it'll be one of those wins that don't necessarily guarantee anything more, and doesn't automatically make him a target for the other wrestlers. Though on the chance that he does win a championship, I predict an immediate heel turn. It's the only way. I'm calling it now. This next chapter is on Joe Hendry. I have one thing to share that's Joe Hendry related. After WrestleMania, I came across this tweet. I forget who it was by, but they were talking about how they traveled to shows with Joe and how Joe like manifested his own WrestleMania appearance by just being so positive. Now, since I don't remember who tweeted this could be some complete bullshit for all I know. But I will say that at the time I read that story, I was in such a dog shit place mentally. I was like insulting myself out loud for every little mistake I made. I'd like drop a fork and just start calling myself the worst names imaginable. Like it was bad. But then I read that tweet. I decided that instead of insulting myself, I should try singing the Joe Hendry theme song just at myself every time I mess up. I'd drop a fork and I'd be like, I believe in Joe Hendry. And guess what? My YouTube views went way up afterward. So, moral of the story is I believe in Joe Hendry and also Manifestation Now. Guys, I took a break and when I got back, I realized that my microphone stand was so freaking dusty this entire time. My hair was all messed up too. Ugh, this is not up to standard. Whatever, let's see if we can save this video. Oh, we should talk about the music for a second. The wrestlers' theme songs are not good anymore. You used to be able to hear just a couple of notes and be like, oh, here comes Mankind, here comes Goldust, here comes Shawn Michaels. But those days are so over, man. Now all the songs sound the same. It's like the producers go up to the wrestlers when they first sign and they're like, okay, you got 3 options. You can choose between hip hop or hard rock or dance music. And if you don't like any of those, you can just have, whoa! That's a genre. It's just, whoa! Next we have the Judgment Day. I don't have much to say about this group other than I think their Judgment Days are numbered. They're a very cool group, but I'm seeing those cracks start to form, you know? Right now, all of them are either having beef with each other or plotting to pit other group members against each other. Besides that, the Judgment Day was first founded in like 2022 or something, right? So it's been like 3 years and, you know, plenty of wrestling teams don't last that long. There's going to be some kind of group implosion in the near future. Like, I can just feel it. And I think Liv Morgan's shoulder injury just rushed that along, as unintentional as it obviously was. Next up is Mr. Iguana. I was introduced to Mr. Iguana via Worlds Collide, which was that crossover show that they had with the Lucha Libre promotion AAA, which WWE just acquired earlier this year. Mr. Iguana is not an iguana, he's a guy, and he's got some crazy moves.
Oh, beautiful! Helicopter twirl spin. Beautiful.
Also, he has his little buddy La Yesca. La Yesca is an iguana puppet, and most of the time he's just this floppy puppet hanging out on the sidelines or in Mr. Iguana's mouth. But then sometimes Mr. Iguana tags him in, and he comes to life to help fight an opponent. It's kind of like Mr. Sacco, but instead of him forcing you to bite him, he forces himself to bite you. And I love it. I think it's very cute. Mr. Iguana got such a good reaction from the WWE fans. I hope that means he's gonna return soon. I'm hoping he and La Yesca will get a chance to show El Grande Americano what's what. That's another storyline I love, by the way. American Made is such a good team. I love patriotic gimmicks. They're so funny. That goes for Chelsea Green and the Secret Hervis as well. But I'm gonna have to talk about them some other time. Maybe when they finally win something. After Worlds Collide, we got some behind the scenes content of some other guys like Joe Hendry and Shawn Michaels interacting with Mr. Iguana, which was delightful. Oh, here's a good excuse to talk about Shawn Michaels for a second. Y'all know I'm a simple woman. I see Shawn Michaels, I smile. But no offense, the man does not have the Muppet magic in him. What do I mean by that? So when Mr. Iguana puts La Yesca on his hand, La Yesca becomes a real lizard. He comes to life. Mr. Iguana has the Muppet magic in him, but somehow, when Shawn Michaels puts La Yesca on his hand, the poor thing looked even more like roadkill than usual. So in conclusion, Shawn Michaels does not have the Muppet magic in him. Luckily, he's got everything else going for him, though. Gunter and Jay Uso. These two had the first match that I personally saw out of the current roster. They're opening for WrestleMania. Gunter has a really cool thing going on. He's got that old school build and moveset that really makes him stand out. And I'm definitely into that sophisticated sadist kind of characterization. He's like some kind of spy movie villain. As far as Jay Uso is concerned, I definitely appreciate his attitude. This guy will fight until he can barely stand. And if he likes somebody, he'll run out and help them, even if he literally just got his ass handed to him 20 minutes ago. That makes him look really good. I've seen some people here and there drag Jay for his limited moveset, and I definitely see where they're coming from with that. However, you have to give it to Jay for nailing that audience connection factor, particularly with the kids. Like, in the future, Jay will for sure be seen as a symbol of the Netflix era. 20 years from now, today's kids are going to be on Reddit like, wrestling just isn't what it used to be back when we had yeet. That being said, like so many, I was pretty disappointed with the way that Gunter lost his WrestleMania match. And I was even more disappointed when, after that, they completely derailed Gunter's journey to have him feud with the announcers? Seriously? That's right, Gunter had to represent the evil of censorship for like 3 weeks. He's from Europe, guys. They don't have free speech over there. Gunter's never met her. Cut him some slack. Anyway, I'm at least looking forward to Gunter's lead up to SummerSlam and just seeing how he performs there, I guess. I know I just said I'm not invested in that match. Whatever, I'm high. I'm also plenty curious about what's up next for Jey Uso. Now, I'm gonna complain about the ads for a second. There are too many of them. Seriously, I'm at my limit. You know, fine, with enough time, I can look past a few company logos on the mat. And does the fact that this fight was brought to me by Dude Wipes actually affect my life in any significant or material way? No, maybe not. But Slim Jim tables and fireball ladders? Slim Jim tables and fireball ladders? The Dudley Boys would never. Right? You know what? Never mind. I don't know them that well. And on top of that, the Raw commercial breaks are just the same advertisements over and over, which I guess is just like any other TV station, but it doesn't mean I have to like it. Like that one where that girl gets attacked by her Luna Vachon phone. To this day, I still have no desire for Minute Maid. Anywho, that wraps up all my most pressing WWE thoughts for now. Like I said, overall, I'm having a great time with it. And while I understand and even agree with some of the harsher criticisms I've seen about the current product from other people online, I'm still enjoying it enough to keep watching. I'm gonna be a little too real with y'all for a second. These shows are the main things I have to look forward to in my average week now. Clearly, I've had a void in my life to fill, and clearly I found just the right thing for it. And I'm probably gonna make more wrestling videos on occasion, even though they're so unpopular on my channel, because as much as I love talking about Degrassi, my true obsession lies in the ring, and the ring demands at least 10% of my time and money at all times. But that's enough from me for today. Remember to bring your personal cheerleader to ringside, and I'll see you next time.